Welcome to the lair of Voltaire. Who has come to visit me? Hello, Brendan. I think I might have to put on my glasses in order to see who's come around. First Officer Daniel reporting. Welcome, Daniel. Unsure of yourself, might want to wait until Oh, Brendan, you're welcome. You're welcome into my home. You all are. Thank you, Emily. Thank you all for joining me. I probably shouldn't wear this the entire time. I already have a reputation for being everybody's goth dad. I don't want to be everybody's goth grandpa right away. Let's reframe this a little bit. Okay. And let's focus on my face. I try not to focus on my face, yet here we are focusing on my face. Curled up on the throne, the Raised by Bats throne here at the lair of Voltaire. Folks, thank you so much for joining me for the August 2020 video newsletter live right here on YouTube at the very last moment where it could still possibly be a video newsletter for August, because it's the literally we have an hour before it's no longer August. August just kind of escaped from me. It's been a pretty crazy and hectic month. Thank you so much, everybody who's showing up. Ashley, thank you. Oh, those names, they go by so quickly. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here in my home. Well, as usual, we get started with Where Am I Playing Near You. I actually have some news about Where Am I Playing Near You, believe it or not. Let me see, I wrote myself some notes. Yes, right. Well, look, I have a show booked on Halloween. Now, of course, we all know how 2020 has been, so there's no telling if, Halloween will happen or it won't happen, but I'm presently booked to perform in Shreveport, Louisiana. Shreveport, Louisiana, at the Logan Mansion. I played there last year around Halloween. It was really, really amazing. It's an amazing time. And this time it's going to be a party to end all Halloween parties. It's going to be really spectacular. If it happens. I think it will happen. I think it will happen. They've been talking to the city about how to make it happen with social distancing and keeping everybody safe. And, the show's booked, and we're going to try to make it happen. And if it's not safe, we won't do it. But as long as we can do it and everybody's going to be safe, then we absolutely, positively, I will be there. Halloween. They have a great cemetery, like half a block away from the Logan Mansion. It's really, really very impressive. I shot something there last time I shot a newsletter, like this one, the last time I was there in Shreveport. In any case, so that's a show. I have some other news about some other shows. You ready? UK shows have been rescheduled yet again to January. So these are the present dates for the United Kingdom shows. January 14th in Bristol at the Exchange. January 15th in York at Fulford Arms. January 16th in Glasgow at the Ivory Blacks. January 19th in Edinburgh at Opium. January 20th in Manchester, England at Night People. January 21st at Nottingham at the Rescue Room. January 22nd in Wolverhampton at Slade Rooms. And January 23rd in London at Colis in the Lounge. So those are the UK dates, and of course, just like the Halloween dates, we're going to be hopeful. We're going to be, skeptical but optimistic, and we're going to hope that we can make those happen, and hopefully I'll see you all in London and all of those other fine cities in England, and then of course, hopefully things will open up and there'll be a rampage of shows all over the US and who knows, maybe even Europe. That probably won't happen until 2021. All right, well, what else is on the menu to talk about today? I think Gothic homemaking. Let's have a cocktail, shall we? Let's just cheers, everybody. Who's drinking what? Love from Ireland. Hi. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We need to book more shows in Ireland. Who needs a concert right now? Oh, hi, Morrigan. Welcome. Oh, someone just said I need a concert right now. It went away. It went away. Now it's gone forever. Oh well. Well, you can have a concert soon because there's a concert I forgot to mention, and that's Dragon Con Dragon Con, as you know, has been canceled, but we are doing a virtual event, and I will be performing during their virtual event. So be sure to check out Dragon Con's social media and find out when that is, and I'll see you guys there for a lovely, lovely concert, which includes the newest song from Black Labyrinth, but we're going to get back to that. For now, let's talk about Gothic homemaking. You know, I always say the key to success on YouTube is quality, originality, and consistency. Now, I think Gothic homemaking is a very original idea. I don't think there's a lot of people doing that kind of stuff on on YouTube. And quality, I like to believe the videos are really, really well done. Maybe I'm crazy. And then consistency, that's the hard one. Because when you're paying for everything yourself, especially when you don't have any concerts, it's a little tough to keep up. And then the pandemic hit. I had hoped well, you know, I'm going to interrupt you for a second because I see some questions. Hold your questions to the end because I have so much to tell you, as this is a video newsletter, that you're going to be very, very disappointed if you keep asking the same question over and over again, because I'm not going to get to it until the very end. So I apologize about that. We'll have to cover that in another Q&A, but for now, it's video newsletter time, which it's like watching the news. You kind of don't get to interrupt the newscaster to say, can you explain that? Because I'd love to, but I can't. Anyway, so where was I? So Gothic homemaking, consistency. I've been taking a hiatus, Decembers and Januaries, as you may have noticed, for mental health reasons. And then I had hoped to like jump right back into Gothic homemaking. I didn't get back into season 5 until April 1st. And my plan was to have a new episode every single week until the end of the year. And it just didn't happen because the pandemic hit and I couldn't go out and I couldn't go to stores and I couldn't buy things and I couldn't film things. And so subsequently I had to take a break. And so that's why you saw a month or so where there were no videos. But during that time, you know, I was able to get back on the wagon and shoot a bunch more videos. And part 2 of season 5, which I secretly call Son of Season 5, Return from Beyond the Grave, started airing a couple of weeks ago with my Save Halloween 2020 video. I asked some of you on the communities tab if you would do me a favor and share the video. And so many of you did that it went from the normal 10,000 videos, that's about what my videos get, to it's up to 30,000. So thank you so much. And another thing happened. When you shared that video, YouTube's analytics noticed and they started putting me in people's suggested feeds. And this month, I went from having an increase of an average of 1,500 subscribers to having 306,000 subscribers in the same amount of time because of you. Because of you. So don't ever think for a moment that you can't help, because in simply sharing a video, you bring that video to the attention of so many more people. You can send it to a friend and they might watch it, or you put it up on your YouTube, put it up on your Facebook, put it up on your Instagram, and so many more people see it, and subsequently that means more subscribers. And believe me, look, I'm not trying to become rich, but I am trying to make videos that get seen. And having a video that costs thousands of dollars to make that gets an underwhelming number of videos is not encouraging. And I'm constantly fighting against the desire to quit. Those of you who are artists, I don't even need to explain it to you. I'm sure you understand. So when things are successful, when more eyeballs are finding the videos, and when, you know, it's a match made in heaven, because when there's some spooky Halloween loving person out there who never heard of the channel, and you introduce them to the channel and they become a fan of the channel, that helps me and that helps them, and everybody makes out. So I want to thank you so much for sharing that first video. The second video is up now too. That's how to make apothecary cabinets. And I've got weeks of videos ready to go for you. Although I am having a little bit of a panic attack because I'm noticing that a lot of my other colleagues are coming out with their Halloween haul videos already. So now I'm starting to wonder if I should push all of the DIY videos to November and maybe fill up every single week with Halloween reviews, because I feel like kind of might be getting left behind. You know, like if my Michaels review comes out 4 weeks from now, as it's presently scheduled to do so, by then everyone's going to be like, Dude, we've known what was at Michael's for months. So I don't know. I don't know. It's something I might do. I might just hold off on the DIYs. I have some great DIYs coming your way. I have apothecary bottles, how to make apothecary bottles to put in your apothecary cabinet. And then I have a video called how to make a cranial wipe, which is a skull-shaped toilet paper dispenser. And then I have something called a widow's funeral bouquet. Some really, really cool things. And it's all culminating in showing you how amazing my bathroom is turning out. And the Gothic bathroom I've created, it's going to change the entire layer because the bathroom's so great now that I look around and I'm like, wow, this is crap. I have to redo the whole layer now to be as good as the bathroom is. In any case, so that's what's happening with Gothic homemaking. I'm full steam ahead. My goal for 2020 is to reach 200,000 subscribers. It's crazy. It's crazy. Can I do it? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe with your help, I can. And then my other goal is to have a brand new episode of Gothic Homemaking every single week for the whole rest of the year. Can I do that? I think I can. I think I can. And I'm going to try. And now we're moving on. So that's what I have for you regarding Gothic homemaking. And that brings us to Black Labyrinth. Do you guys know what Black Labyrinth is? Raise your hand if you know what Black Labyrinth is. Anybody? Woo! Somebody said woo. Yeah, this is what happens when you're redecorating, Bronwyn. It's true. You fix up one part, and then you fix up another part, and you look at the first part, and you're like, did I phone that in? That looks like crap. In any case, we're moving on to Black Labyrinth. Black Labyrinth is my next album. Well, I'm working on 2 albums simultaneously. Black Labyrinth was supposed to be after the Spanish album, but Black Labyrinth has picked up some momentum, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But first, we're going to talk about Black Labyrinth. So Black Labyrinth is an unofficial sequel to Labyrinth, the film, and it is also my tribute to my hero, David Bowie. It is a requiem to the Goblin King. That is literally what it is. It takes place in the world of Labyrinth with all new characters and all new songs, and it has turned into a giant D&D campaign. It really has. It started out kind of simple, but now there's orcs and drow and dragons and mounts and it really dark elves. It's turned into an enormous D&D campaign. Originally there was going to be probably the same number of songs as is in an album, but it's a musical. It is literally a musical, and because it's a musical, every single time a new part of the story develops, I write a new song for that part. Does Voltaire like the Dark Crystal? Listen, I joke that Black Labyrinth should be called the never-ending dark labyrinth of the last unicorn, because it has everything. It has elements of legend. It has elements of Labyrinth. It has elements of Dark Crystal, the last unicorn. Like all of that 80s fantasy stuff that I grew up with that moved me so desperately as a young person, it's all in there. It's all in there. In any case, the story's gotten really massive. I am now up to 18 songs, but I'm almost entirely certain that by the time I'm done, it'll have like 20 songs. The engineer working on this, Tom Gardner, who's the same engineer who worked on Raised by Bats and What Are the Odds and Heart-Shaped Wound, was like, this is a lot of songs. I said, Tom, this is a musical. How many songs are in Phantom of the Opera? You know, how many songs are in Cats? This is a full-on musical. And so the stories, 5 or so of the songs I've already played on acoustic guitar and released here on YouTube for you to see. So you can check them out right on my channel. Is Ray Toro going to play on it? He should. He totally should. I should ask him. In any case, you can hear 5 of the songs: Safe in Your Love, Someone Like You, What Will We Do, Friends in the Dark, and Little White Lies. Some Mexican death rock in the background that includes some awesome screaming. But there are so many more songs, and I have just sent a video to my patrons on Patreon of the latest song, and it's called Oogliet. And Oogliet is the labyrinthiest of all of the Labyrinth songs on Labyrinth. And if you hear it, you'll understand why. But that was just an exclusive video for my patrons on Patreon. But, soon I'll make it public, probably in a month or two. And I am now working on a song called No Honor Amongst Thieves. And you've probably seen snippets of that on my Instagram page, but I'll probably be releasing that here soon. And then after that, I have to work on Keep on Moving and My Epitaph and the Dark Elf Hymn and The King is Dead, and there's a handful more. Oh, and there's a song sung by the main villain called When I Said I Was Evil, which is kind of like a reprise of When You're Evil. So if you like When You're Evil, you're probably really going to like When I Said I Was Evil. And it's also a tango. So I need to work on that as well. So in any case, there's a lot of recording involved. Recording has already begun, and get this, the very first musician that has been involved in Black Labyrinth other than myself just came in to record, and he was none other than Sterling Campbell. Now, Sterling Campbell, I've known this man for 30 something years, but I first became aware of him because I'm a huge Duran Duran fan. And when Roger Taylor, the drummer, quit Duran Duran somewhere around 1985 or 86, they got this new guy. I just remember like buying Liberty. It was like their next album. And there was this new dude on the album cover. I was like, who's that guy? That's not Roger Taylor. And his name was Sterling Campbell. So Sterling Campbell was a full-fledged member of Duran Duran. This man has worked extensively as a drummer with David Bowie and Cyndi Lauper. And he's presently in the B-52s. So we're talking about 1980s rock royalty. And I was so incredibly privileged to be able to... Oh, yeah, I know. I want to enable, what do you call it, Super Chat, but I don't know how. I haven't figured out how. Just, you know what? PayPal.me/Aurelio Voltaire. If you're really feeling like you want to throw some tips, PayPal.me/Aurelio Voltaire. I will take every penny because I don't have any pennies left. I will take every penny you throw. In any case, where was I? So he is 80s rock royalty, not to mention an alumnus of David Bowie's band. So it was such an incredible thrill and honor to be working with him in the studio. And I can only imagine what other people will be coming to work on this incredible tribute to David Bowie. So the adventure continues, and I'm out of money. That's the other thing. So I guess that probably moves me. Actually, I shouldn't skip the book. I want to talk about the book, but let's talk about Patreon for a second. So as you know, I have a Patreon. People are very, very generous. My straight up, my rent has been paid by Patreon because I have not done a concert since April 14th. That I literally have not made a cent from doing concerts since April 14th. I got to a point where, because all of these months, I'm still paying camera people to film Gothic homemaking. I'm still paying engineers to record Labyrinth. I'm still paying musicians to play on Black Labyrinth. I'm still paying illustrators. So I'm paying people all of the time, but no money's coming in. So the money literally ran out. Like I literally went through my savings about 2 weeks ago. So if you want to support on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Aurelio Voltaire. Again, I will take every cent you're willing to donate because I need it. And there's a special tier that I just created for Black Labyrinth. It's called Keys to the Goblin City. It's $33 a month. It's a bit steep. But this is the only tier that's going to get something different from everybody else. I've always given everybody the same exclusives. This tier is literally going to get absolutely everything I do on Black Labyrinth. Every demo, every sketch the artist sends before it's corrected. Literally everything. You will have the keys to the Goblin City. That's $33 a month. It's at patreon.com/Aurelio Voltaire. If you can, join me. If you can't, it's all going to come out in time. Well, maybe not all the weird behind the scenes stuff, but you get the picture. Moving on, speaking of illustrations, I'm also making a Black Labyrinth book. Now, it was originally being illustrated. I know, Captain, I want to enable Super Chat. I just don't know how. Somebody send me the directions. In any case, I am making a picture book because it's such an epic D&D campaign. Of course, it needs to have a fantasy book that goes along with it. So I'm making a Black Labyrinth book. It was originally being illustrated by Irin Horrors, extremely talented Russian illustrator. She's really, really amazing, and I really loved her work. And unfortunately, months and months of work have now basically we're back to the drawing board. We're back to the drawing board because her situation changed and she no longer is able to deliver um, drawings in a timely fashion. And she told me she just couldn't do it anymore. So I lost my illustrator, all that money, all that time, all that effort, and all of that art because we can't use the art because someone else now has to illustrate the book. All that's gone. The good thing is that we have a new illustrator, and that's Abigail Larson, who you may have heard of. Abigail Larson is an incredibly talented illustrator. We have worked together in the past. In fact, her artwork is the artwork featured in the animation for the opener of Gothic Homemaking. That's all her stuff. She's really, really amazing, and I'm really, really excited. I'm not super excited about the fact that we have to start from the very beginning because we started working on the Black Labyrinth book last March. So that's March, April, May, June, July, August. That's like 6 months gone. But we're going to start over again. And judging from what I've seen of her sketches so far, she's taking things in a somewhat more mature direction. It's going to look a little bit more realistic and a little bit more mature, a little less cartoony. And I think it's going to be very interesting. So I'm very, very excited about that development in Black Labyrinth. And that is presently everything that's happening with Black Labyrinth, which leads me to the Spanish album. Spanish album continues. Of course, you know, when I started talking with Sterling and he said he was interested in playing on Black Labyrinth, I was like, I put the Spanish album to bed for a second. I was like, got to get this guy on Black Labyrinth. And I switched gears a little bit. So now I'm kind of working on both simultaneously. I am presently having my vocals stripped from all the songs that are going to be on the Spanish album. Spanish album's another one with like 20 songs on it. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I really want to put like 15 to 20 songs on the Spanish album. They are all songs you've heard before, but in English. And now I'm translating them. So the team is hard at work translating the songs. My engineer is hard at work remixing songs like To the Bottom of the Sea and The Vampire Club and Brains and The Night and Land of the Dead and Cannibal Buffet. And so we're doing all of those classic songs, or most of the classic songs. Can't do anything from When You're Evil and can't do anything from Almost Human because we lost all of those original tracks. So in the moment, I don't know if When You're Evil, or rather I should say The Devil's Bris. Can't do anything from The Devil's Bris and can't do anything from Almost Human because we lost all of those tracks. But I might have to re-record When You're Evil from scratch because I really want that on the album. So I don't know yet. Anyway, so that's what's happening with the Spanish album. An interesting byproduct of the Spanish album is as we were remixing all of these songs, I suddenly had instrumental tracks and I was like, I should make karaoke videos. So I have started making karaoke videos. I'm now up to, I think I've made 4 albums worth of karaoke videos. I have karaoke videos for all of Ookie Spooky, all of what's Heart-Shaped Wound, all of Raised by Bats, all of Riding a Black Unicorn, and I think I'm about to start working on What Are the Odds. But I plan to do karaoke videos for as many of my songs as humanly possible. So karaoke videos are coming very, very soon to the Lyra Voltaire YouTube channel. Watch out for that. I'm going to say this month. I'm going to say I'm going to start uploading them in September, which is basically, is it now yet? It's probably, if it's not now, it's very close to now. So that's what's happening with karaoke videos. And now the last thing I want to talk to you about is merchandise, because there's some very, very beautiful merchandise coming up the pike. I'm going to show you one piece right now. Gaze lovingly at my chest. Can you see that? This. Let me see if I can get a better focus on that. This is the King of Bats pendant. Well, technically, this is the King of Bats pendant, Palace Jewels edition. Let me show you what the original King of Bats pendant looks like. That looks like this. Oops, it's upside down. Let's see if we can get a better focus on that. That's the King of Bats pendant. It's got this beautiful V logo in the center. And on the back, it says raised by bats. That is sculpted on there. That is not printed. That is sculpted. You see that? Well, let's see if I can get a better shot of it. These are handcrafted by an incredible... Hold on a second. Someone just insulted me. See, it's funny how I only see the insults. Oh, that's not... Bastard. Of course, Voltaire didn't bother with an undershirt. I don't wear undershirts when I'm like a... Never mind. About to get into some like wife beater wearing situation. Like, you know, you can take the boy out of Jersey and you can leave the boy out of Jersey. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so anyway. So that's the King of Bats pendant. Again, that's what the back looks like. It's incredible. These are handcrafted in Russia by a very, very talented artist by the name of Vrana Raven. And then, like I said, that's the King of Bats pendant. This is the King of Bats pendant Palace Jewels edition. Can I get a focus on this? I think this is as good as it's going to get. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, they're extremely, extremely limited, and they are handcrafted, so they are, you know, sadly to say, they are not inexpensive. The King of Bats pendant is $80. This one's $100, and they will be available in my web store soon. But first, of course, I got to give first dibs to my patrons on Patreon. So I will be. Why can't I get a focus on my face? Let's go. All right, there we go. That's better. I'm going to be putting them, making them available on my Patreon page tonight or tomorrow. That's patreon.com/Aurelio Voltaire. They will get first dibs, and I will mail those out myself. So anybody who orders from there in the next 2 days, there's a 2-day window, I will mail them out myself, including signed postcards and lots of stickers and fun stuff like that. Then they're going to go up on the web store. And unfortunately, I'm very, very sorry, folks, but I'm only going to be able to do U.S. orders on the Patreon stuff because I only have two days to ship stuff out. And then, like I said, don't worry if you can't do the Patreon. They will be in my web store in a couple of weeks or so, whatever's left. What else do I have to show you? Here's a vastly more affordable item. You might find this exciting. This is something I'm working on presently right now. This is part of the Lair line. I don't know if you know this, but I'm making a line of lifestyle items. We're going to call it lifestyle items under the Lair brand, Lair Voltaire brand. Check this out. You may have seen this in an Instagram post or in one of my YouTube videos. This is the Bats and Beasts design. I've got 4 or 5 different designs that I'm making available as masks. These are not the cheapo masks that you are seeing online. These are super sturdy. They're sturdy. They come with a pocket so you can put an extra filter in if you really want to. And they are made with fabric that is, what's the word? It has an antibacterial aid embedded in it. So the fabric itself wards off bacteria. And guess what? These come with gloves. You know, the focus really hates me today. Let me see if I can put one of these on for you. So this is the matching glove. They come with a set of gloves. Focus, damn it. Doesn't want to focus. There we go. Somebody asked what the material is. I can't tell you, Barbara. I'm not entirely certain. I'm going to have all of that data soon. I shouldn't even be showing you this yet because they're not ready yet, but I just got impetuous and I wanted to show them off. I think they're polyester. I'm not entirely certain. They might be cotton, but I will have the name of the antibacterial. I'll have all the specs for these very, very soon once we launch the website to sell them. But these come in Bats and Beasts. They also come in the Balinese bat design and 4 other designs. And now I want to show you another thing that I shouldn't be showing you at all. This is way too early for this, but I'm so excited. Oh, and by the way, these I think are going to be under 20 bucks for the mask and the gloves. It's going to be fairly affordable, I believe. But this is by far the thing that gets me the most excited. This is a globlin. Look at that. A globlin is, as you may have guessed, a little creature that holds antibacterial soap. Now, these were supposed to be ready in time for Halloween. And I was very, very excited to be able to sell these on Halloween. Oh, by the way, check this out. Yeah, they light up, and that light is so powerful. It's insanely powerful. It's incredible how bright that light is. Now, as I was saying, I designed 4 different scents for these, but we had all kinds of troubles with the bottles, and we are still working that out. But the other day, I was at Bath and Body Works, and I bought one of these, and it fits. This was not planned, I swear to you. I am not that smart. But apparently, that fits inside. So I was telling my partner that we need to start selling these without the hand sanitizer inside, and that people could just go to Bath and Body Works and buy their hand sanitizer, at least for the time being. What do you think? Would you do that? Would you buy an empty globlin and put the sanitizer in from somewhere else? I would. I think these are so great. I love these so much. This is my favorite thing in the entire world. What's that? Look at one more look at it. Let's see if we can get a close-up on this. Can we do a close-up? Yeah, look at that. I love his little legs. Look at his little legs. It's got this V on the back. Got my logo on the back. It's really, really sturdy, really, really well made. I'm extremely proud of this, and I can't wait, I should say, to start selling these. These are also under 20 bucks. So that's a very, very affordable item. You know, and it can't all be the crazy, crazy, precious, high-end, high-ticket items, you know. So, you know, I always try to make a lot of merch that everybody can afford, hopefully. In any case, that brings us to the end of our newsletter. Thank you so much for hanging out. I think that now that I've gotten all of the news out of the way, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go turn off the music, and I'm going to field some of your questions. So if you have some questions, wait 30 seconds and then fire away. I do love that Mexican death rock, but I have to be able to hear myself. Sakaguri, thank you. And now, see, I need my glasses for this part. You know that, right? You know that I'm gonna need to read with my glasses. Blah 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 blah. Where are you going to come to Mexico the next year? Oh yeah, absolutely, Frida. I love Mexico, and I will be in Mexico sooner than you probably realize. Any virus-themed DIYs? They're all virus themed because they're DIYs. What else do we have to do but sit around and make stuff? Specifically virus themes? No, I don't think so. I have too much cool, spooky, gothic stuff I want to make to be focusing on like the most negative part of 2020. What about the cologne? Says Renee. We're working on it. Really stuck on the bottle. Really stuck on the bottle. It just goes to show how difficult something can be when you insist on it being an absolutely original design. It would have been done by now if I had been willing to use an existing bottle, but I had this great idea for a bottle, and we are plowing through. We're just going to try to make it happen. So we're still working on it. How am I doing? Bioexorcist? I'm poor now, but I'm all right. Mexico when? I don't know. Altair, Mexico soon. I mean, definitely a show in 2021. If I can do it, forgot to tell you. So my fiance tells me that there's this place in Mexico, I think it's called El Foro, where they're doing live shows that are streamed. But the artist can go to the actual venue. So it's like lights and sounds and smoke and the feeling of an actual concert. But then people buy tickets online to watch the concert. So that's something I might do. Why can't I get this to focus? You know, it's just, I'm just going to take it off the little stand. Oh, that was it. And oh my God. Okay, sorry, I disconnected myself. Chicago, okay, listen, let's just get something straight, folks. If each one of you is going to ask me, like, when am I going to go to a particular city? That's all we're going to be talking about for the rest of the night. Just assume that every city on earth is a city I'm going to try to hit in 2021. Probably not before 2021. Before 2021, the only thing I can guarantee you is Shreveport, and that's it. Actually, that's it. Just Shreveport. Uh, oh, ever watched Villainous? No. What's Villainous? I don't know what that is. What's the biggest project you have wanted to do that didn't make sense for the space you have now? Coffin shaped Murphy bed. Coffin shaped Murphy bed. I had to give up on that one. That was too crazy. It would have been so big, it would have been the entire room. When are you going to perform on the moon? I don't know. I heard it's made of cheese. Is the song Medicated Girls Brigade against medication in general or over medicating? It's a piece of literature. First of all, something you need to understand is that it's not advice. It's not medical advice. Medical advice comes from doctors, and anybody who's not a doctor who gives you medical advice is not someone you should be taking medical advice from, especially when it comes to something so personal as your medication. It is not medical advice. It is a piece of literature about a boy who loves a girl during a time where parents are over medicating children who are problematic or a little bit strange or a little bit depressed instead of just, talking to them. And so that's what the song is about. It is about nothing else. So it's not anti medication, it's anti that period of time. That's what it's about. Drake. Oh, Villainous is a Spanish cartoon network. Yeah, yeah, yes. Yeah, I've heard about it. Yep. They should have me do a voice. Did you ever watch Has Been Hotel? None, I think I saw maybe a little bit of it. I'd be on that too, if they asked me. Do you still talk to Maxwell Adams? All the time. I love Maxwell Adams. He's a very, very close friend. I do talk to him a lot. To the Bottom of the Sea, whole album instrumental or just one song? For the Spanish album, one song, but I am remixing the entire album and it will all be available as instrumentals, and then it will all be available as karaoke videos. Ridicule. What's your favorite song of your own? Usually whatever I'm working on most recently. That's true. It's really true. It's like whatever I'm working on most recently is usually what I'm most excited about. So presently, I'm super excited about Oogliet. I love Oogliet. When you see the video, you're gonna know. I look so happy singing that song. It is so much fun to sing. But of pre-existing songs, I would say the song that I think that I'm the most proudest that I ever wrote is one that you'd probably never guess, and that's When the Circus Came to Town. I've never played it without crying. Even sitting at home playing it, I cry. I don't know why. The events of that song never happened to me, but I wrote that song and it makes me cry, and I love it. I'm very, very, very proud of that song. Favorite Tim Burton movie? Nightmare Before Christmas. Aren't they all the same film? Really? They're like pretty much all the same film. Caravan Metal. I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. Let's see. What else we got? Uh-huh. 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 Oh, is the mask well fitting enough to wear with glasses, or do you need to double up with one underneath? The mask is heavy. It's not a light mask. It's really heavy duty. I've worn it with, I don't wear it with glasses. I've worn it primarily with sunglasses, and they do fog up. I do find that to be a problem. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. Um, I think it can be worn with glasses, but fogging might be a problem. Are you ever going to discuss shoe storage and organization on Gothic homemaking? Well, I did an episode. I've covered clutter quite a lot, not specifically shoes. It might be why I presently have 40 pairs of shoes floating around the place. Don't know where to put them. So maybe I just haven't come up with a good idea, Em. But if you have an idea, let me know. Because I do have 40 pairs of shoes just floating around the place. You participate actively in a D&D campaign? No, I've actually never played D&D. I know what D&D is. I'm very, very well familiarized with it, and I love fantasy. So I know about all the different races and characters and all that stuff, but I've never deemed myself as having the time to play D&D or any games because anytime I've had an opportunity to play a game, I've been like, there's this song I want to write instead, or there's this book that I want to write instead, or there's this film that I want to make instead. And there's just always something else that I'd rather make rather than play a game. That's just a personal thing. That's just me. Ooh, it's a cat skeleton, creepy cat skeleton behind me. Oh, look at that beautiful painting of Elvira. Who is your favorite vampire character? Dracula. Bela Lugosi. Old school. I'm a monster kid. Blackbeard says, my wife is having a bad day and it would mean a word to her if you would say, hi, Haven. Could you please? Thank you for all you do. We love you. Hi, Haven. Feel better. Villainous Black Hat reminds me so much of Voltaire's music. Yeah, I need to get on that show. Have you watched Daria Conan's animations? Yes, of course. Derp. I even talk about it in my live concerts. If you watch my live concerts, you will see that I refer to them when I play because I feel like obligated now to play the Knight and Land of the Dead and Zombie Prostitute because a lot of the people coming to the shows, first heard of me from seeing those videos. So I feel like practically obligated to play those songs. So I always do mention the videos. They're very well done. How do you feel about being the internet's coolest goth uncle? Um, I don't. It's not for me to say. I mean, if that's what people think, I think coolest anything sounds good to me. What about the Zoom Halloween party? Yeah, I mean, we'll see. If my show on Halloween gets canceled, there might very well be a Zoom Halloween party. But my Zoom Halloween party doesn't have to be on Halloween. It could be the night before, the night after. You never know. Hope to see you continue the Halloween hunting series. Michaels has some awesome gothic home decor this year. Says Dory. I just shot my Michaels review. This is what I'm worried about. I just shot my Michaels review, just edited it, and I put it in the queue, but it's like going to air like 3 or 4 weeks from now. Like by the time it airs, everybody else has shown what Michaels, has, and I feel like I'm getting left behind. I'm also not getting, like Jade the Libra. I love her to death. I really like her videos, and I consider her a colleague. She just did a Halloween home decor hunting video, got like 118,000 views, and mine's doing really great at 30,000 views. I'm like, what? How does that happen? Like, how do two people cover the same thing? And somebody gets so many, and believe me, I appreciate my views because I also know people who do the same thing, and they have like 500 views. So I get it. It's just we're algorithm slaves. Like we're all out there doing stuff that we love, and I think that a lot of us do it with a lot of heart and a lot of quality. But who can even guess how the algorithm decides what gets seen? Just I don't know the secret. If anybody knows how I can get from people, like 10,000 views for a video that cost me thousands of dollars to make to 100,000 views, that would make the money more well spent. I'll tell you that. All right. Hope to see you continue. All right. Yes. Okay. So that was Dory's question. Plushies. No plushies right now. No plushies. I should make another one. If you have any ideas, let me know. Obviously, the last one was the Malicorn of Darkness, but I'm not really sure. Oh, no. Then I made Candy Claws. I'm not really sure what I would make next. Right. Zoom Halloween Party. We covered that one. Maxwell Adams. We covered that one. Well, am I going backwards? Well, maybe I was going backwards. Have you thought about doing a virtual concert? Yeah, I've thought about it. I'm just not really set up to do it. Just not really sure how to do it. Although, obviously the Dragon Con thing is happening, but I want to do a concert where I'm like in an actual concert hall with actual lights and actual sound. I don't want it to just seem like here I am in my living room. So I haven't figured that part out yet. I'm like pretty bad with technology. You may not know that, but I'm practically a Luddite. What are your thoughts on fan animations and song? I think that anytime anybody dedicates their time to drawing or making anything inspired by my work is such an incredible honor. I just think I think that there's no, people can write to you and say, I'm your biggest fan and I really love your stuff. And that's beautiful and that's wonderful. But like somebody like investing their time to make something inspired by your work is just, that's like the next step. I find that incredibly humbling. Um, let's see, what else do we have? Did you ever been a vampire in a movie before? Yes, Faith. Have I? Well, yeah, I was a pee drinking vampire. Does that count? Probably doesn't count. I was a vampire who drinks pee pee. It's on. You know what? I'm really sorry I even answered that question. I'm sorry. It was a vampire. Well, I mean, we don't really know. He wasn't really. Actually, come to think of it, it was for maybe Sunshine is the name of the web series. I don't really play. I don't think he really was a vampire. I think he was just a creep. I think he was just a creep who liked to think he was a vampire. But I am playing a vampire soon in a film, and it's the lead, and it's a feature. But I can't tell you anymore. So we're going to leave it at that. Do you ever think about playing Brazil? I think about playing Brazil every week of the year because I get email from Brazil every week of the year. I always say that Brazil is the country where I have the most fans and the least promoters who want to book me. I literally get fan mail from Brazil all of the time, but nobody ever says, here's a plane ticket. They just say, come play. So I haven't figured out Brazil yet. If the Spanish album comes out and there's a tour of South America, then hopefully we make Brazil happen. But I love Brazil. I love Brazilian people. I love Brazilian music. I love Brazilian food. And I'm sure that I would really, really love to be there. Just need to figure out how because it's very expensive. Um, okay. Do you have any other bat merch in the works? Well, there's obviously the bat pendants. And then there's the wooden bats. Should I take you for a stroll across the room? These things. Where's a Javanese bat? See the Javanese bat up there? Now, normally you see them in mahogany, but that one is actually black. I have two of them. Those might be for sale soon. Those are $333 each. And then there's these little ones. These are the original bats that I made. That's the Balinese bat. That's made out of a softer wood. It looks like that. But I was only, oh, I'm going to fall down. I was only selling those in person at shows. And they're so delicate that I would only sell one per concert. And the reason I would only sell one per concert is because I literally had to bring it on my lap on the plane. That's how delicate they are. And they were $100 each, and it was always the very first thing to sell at the show. But now I have like 20 of them in a box because there hasn't been a show since April. So who knows? Maybe I'll start selling those now too. Do you see cartoons? Do I see cartoons? Do I watch cartoons? I don't know. Yes, Lower Decks. I've been watching Star Trek Lower Decks. I don't watch a lot of television, but I love Star Trek. And I was very skeptical of Lower Decks, but I'm really enjoying it. And wait to hear the new verse for USS Make Shit Up about Lower Decks. Have I told you that you're handsome yet? Oh, thanks. Shucks. Favorite Edgar Allan Poe story? Well, The Conqueror Worm. It's a poem, not quite a story. But, obviously I loved that one so much that I turned it into a song. So I'm going to say that's my favorite. That's for Dominic. Any more collabs with Max? Ask Kanan. I'd love to work with Maxwell Adams again. I love the guy. I mean, I just love the guy. I think he's just really great. He's a really, really unique soul, and I really dig him a lot. I really enjoy his company. But I would absolutely work with him again. Let's see. The odd question, if someone named a superpower after one of your songs, what would you think works? I've already got When You're Evil. I don't know. But rather than name a superpower after my song, if somebody named a if there was a superpower named after me, I would want for that superpower to be that like there's a conflict and you arrive with a smile and a unique perspective on the situation, and in moments instead of fighting, the other person has kind of warmed up to you and you're now sort of laughing and having a drink together. That's what I would like my superpower to be. Because that's actually, I've done that a lot. I've actually done that a lot with people who came at me in a very antagonistic way. And, I just have a philosophy that, especially bullies, obviously I have a lot of experience with bullies, but I find that a lot of bullies, like guys on the street in particular who come up and they're like, hey, Dracula, or, hey, fag, or whatever, however they want to try to belittle me, they're expecting two reactions. Only one of two reactions. One of them is like, hey, man, I don't want any trouble. And hey, man, I don't want any trouble really means please punch me in the face. Because what they're hoping is that you're going to back down and then they can dominate you. So the moment you're like, hey, man, I don't want any trouble, they're like, this guy, he's not willing to fight. So that means I can now just keep going. I can just bully this guy into the ground and he won't fight back. The other reaction they're expecting is like, you got a problem, man? So like the instant force meets force. That's the other thing they're expecting. So I always offer a third alternative. If they're like, hey, are you a vampire? I just look at them like, do you believe in vampires? Like, how old are you? I don't believe in vampires. Now, if you ask me, do I think I look like a vampire? Hell yeah. Yeah, I think I look like a vampire. I've been working on this all my life. That's the kind of reaction they don't expect. And before you know it, you're like just having a drink together. So anyway, that's what I'd like my superpower to be. And let's see, what time is it? I have no way of knowing. Oh, I do know what. Oh my God. Okay, so we have 8 minutes left because I said this was going to be an hour long. So we got 8 minutes left. So let's see what other questions we can do here. Well, Barbara, any cool Halloween plans? I would say, well, if the show at the Logan Mansion happens, that would be my Halloween plan. If not, something big in my house, even if it's just me and my fiance. Might have to fly her in from New Mexico. If you ever did a remake a song like When You're Evil, do you think you'd try to add it or change it? I don't believe in remaking my own songs. I think they should just, they are a testament to a time when I wrote them. I once had this idea, like maybe I'd be more popular, like in the goth scene, maybe I'd be more popular if my songs were like industrial. Like, what if I took songs like When You're Evil and The Man Upstairs and like gave them to industrial DJs and they made industrial versions? And then ultimately it's just like, why? I don't want to make that kind of music, so why bother? So no, I don't think I would change anything about my songs. And now I'm just going to scroll real fast because we're running out of time. And we've got, do you enjoy the Bad 311? I have no idea what that is. Sorry, Crypt. I recently learned how to play Raised by Bats, says Eric, last month on guitar, but I have no hand to play it with. No band. Okay, well, it's better not to have a band than not to have a hand. That's okay. You don't need a band. I don't have a band. Less people to pay. You're in luck, Eric. You got less people to pay. Okay. It's really funny. Like, I don't know if people just post the questions various times or if I'm cycling back and forth. I listen to your songs so much I can almost play them by ear. They are so much fun to listen to. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. ¿Hay alguna red social donde te puede encontrar? Sí, en Instagram. Y YouTube. Estamos aquí en YouTube. Esta es una red social, ¿no? Y yo también a veces yo posteo en el ¿cómo se llama? La área comunidad de YouTube. Y también estoy en el Instagram, instagram.com/Aurelio Voltaire. Pero ya no estoy en Facebook y ya no estoy en Twitter. So that is my answer. Aurelio, mi pequeño de 10 años te apoya. Muchas gracias, Claudia. Tell your child I said hello. Dile a tu hijo que dije hola. Y que muchas gracias por apoyarme. Favorite alcoholic drink? That's an easy one, Oliver. Rum. I'm a rummy. I was talking to a friend recently who's also a big Star Trek fan, and we decided that she decided that I'm not that clever. She decided that I'm a Romulan. I was like, I'm a Vulcan. She was like, no, you're not. You're a Romulan. I was like, I'm not a Romulan. She's like, you're a Romulan. I was like, oh, yeah, that's possibly true. Let's see. Oh no, Victor and Valentino is a great macabre cartoon about two brothers in Mexico. Have you been approached about being in it? Nope, but I'd like to be. Looking for work. I'm broke, kids. Send Uncle Voltaire some work. Uh, Hi, Voltaire. My sister is in this chat and tried to take your CD without buying it. She was embarrassed. It was really funny. Crimes are hilarious. Well, you're such a great brother, Isaiah, calling your sister out and trying to embarrass her further. Would you ever want to write a book? Yep. That's why I wrote 5 of them. What is Goth? Painted Black, A Guide to Gothic Homemaking. The Legend of Candy Claus. 50 Shades of Grays, which you should definitely not look into. Maybe I just wrote 4. I think I wrote 4. Oh, no, and Call of the Jersey Devil. 5 books. I've written 5 books. Might write some more someday. But writing is so time consuming. It is so time consuming. I mean, whatever. All good art is time consuming, but writing is super time consuming. And I think I have time for, no, got 3 more. Man, I'm like really, I'm usually so verbose that I get to do like 1 question an hour, but I'm really blowing through these. So I think I do a couple more. Ever played Vampire the Masquerade? Nope. No, that's not true. That's not true. I was hired twice, maybe 3 times, to perform at Vampire the Masquerade parties. And I explained to the organizers that I don't LARP. I'm like, I don't LARP. They're like, well, we kind of already told our patrons that you were going to be there and that they could interact with you. And I was like, well, I don't want to learn a bunch of rules just to be in a room having a cocktail at a party. And they were like, okay, we have a solution. And I get to this thing. Now, mind you, I was performing. I was doing a 1-hour concert, right? Like, as far as I was concerned, that was really my responsibility. But I was also going to be, like, hanging out in the room. And apparently I was going to be a character in the storyline. And like I said, I didn't want to learn a bunch of rules just so I could stand there and drink some drinks. So they told the players that I was a vampire who was so high level that if they spoke to me, they'd explode. So, yeah. I guess you could say I've played Vampire the Masquerade 3 different times. I just kind of stood there and drank. And then I did my damn show. What would you suggest for an aspiring Gothic songwriter to pull inspiration from? Yourself. What bothers you? Write about what bothers you. What hurts you? What makes you happy? You have a lot of emotions inside of you. Some of them are so intense that they're practically uncontrollable. And the things that cause them are usually beyond your control. Somebody that you're in love with doesn't love you back. Walking home from school is a nightmare day after day after day because there's people who are trying to kill you on the way home. All of these things, these are the things to write about because it's your experience. And if you write about stuff like that, your songs won't sound like, it's the stroke of midnight and bats are leaving the graves as the skeletons come out to dance under a smoky haze. Actually, that's really cool. Never mind. Write about skeletons. That never fails. Do you like Creature Feature the band? Somebody always asks that. Yeah, I guess they're cool. They opened for me once or twice, and I thought they were really cool. I asked them if they wanted to go on tour with me. They were like, "We can't leave our city. We have day jobs," and then that was kind of the end of it. But I think their music is good, very carnival-y and spooky. How could you not like carnival-y and spooky? It's my 2 favorite things. Have you seen the Tim Burton short Vincent? Yeah, like maybe 30 years ago was like the first time I saw it. And yeah, I'm old. And a stop motion animator. So yeah, I saw that millions of years ago. Does it have a metal piece on the nose? That's what stops the fog. What are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about the mask. I don't know. I'm not sure. Is it okay if I use one of your songs for the film I'm working on, like for the credits? Asks Dominic. Dominic, I say yes to basically almost everybody who wants to use my music for anything that's not going to make money. If it's a school project or like an indie film with no budget, then usually the answer is yes. But if you want like a legit answer, it'd be best to email Voltaire at voltaire.net and tell me exactly what you want to do, and then I'll let you know. But it's usually yes. And now I bet it's 12:01. I went over, but I want to do one more. Just one more. Just one more. Dory. I feel like I've answered a bunch of Dory's questions. Any new goth or goth adjacent music you are enjoying lately? Yes. Yes. You should all check it out. It's a band called Black Rose Burning, and the album is called Year of the Scorpion. As it happens, the band is really a one-man band. My friend George Grant, co-producer and longtime friend, he recorded Almost Human, Boo Hoo, Then and Again, Ookie Spooky, To the Bottom of the Sea, Hate Lives in a Small Town, Bitrektual, Riding a Black Unicorn, and Raised by Bats. So we've worked on a ton of albums together. And he's made like a really, really hooky, legit goth rock kind of 80s synth pop, like dark 80s kind of album. And I love it. I listen to it all the time. It's on ludicrous rotation here. So I would strongly suggest you check out Black Rose Burning. You will thank me. It's great stuff. And that is the end of this video newsletter. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your questions. And I will see you here next time, here on the Lair of Voltaire. Peace out. As they say in Lower Decks. That's the sarcastic Vulcan salute. See you later, bud. Bye-bye.